My name is Sophia. I am 28 years old. I work in a busy corporate office in the heart of the city. The office is always full of people, quiet conversations, and the soft sound of keyboards. But my own life has always been quiet and simple. One day, a new department manager joined our office. His name was Michael. He was 38 years old, kind and friendly. He smiled often and spoke in a soft voice. He made everyone feel comfortable. At first, he was just my boss. I said hello, smiled, and went back to work. But after some time, something changed. I liked talking to him. I liked hearing his voice. Whenever he looked at me, I felt a warmth inside my chest. One day, he asked, "Are you okay today?" "Yes, thank you," I replied. But my heart was beating fast. He made me laugh. He remembered the small things I said. Sometimes, when we talked, he stood close to me. Slowly, I started thinking about him at night. I didn't want to, but I couldn't stop. Then one day, I saw something that made my heart heavy, a ring. He was married. A deep sadness filled my chest. I told myself, "You must forget him." But it was already too late. I was already in love. I didn't plan this. I didn't want this. But now, I thought about him every day. On the outside, I smiled and acted normal. But inside, my heart carried a quiet pain. It kept whispering, "You love him." He didn't know my secret. No one knew. During meetings, he stood near the screen, calmly explaining plans while everyone listened. I tried to focus, but sometimes I found myself looking at his face. His voice was calm. His words were kind. Listening to him made me feel strangely happy. One afternoon, he came to my desk to help me fix something on my computer. His hand touched mine. By accident. My body froze. My face felt warm. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Yes," I said. But inside, everything was chaos. I knew this was wrong. He had a wife. He had a family. He was not free. But love does not always follow rules. Sometimes love hurts. Sometimes it stays silent. A secret love. A quiet love. One Saturday, I went to the park. I wanted fresh air. I wanted to clear my mind. I sat on a bench and watched people passing by. Children laughed. Dogs ran across the grass. The sun felt warm on my face. For a moment, everything felt peaceful. I closed my eyes. Then I heard a familiar voice. "Michael." My eyes opened quickly. He was there, just a few steps away. But he was not alone. A woman stood beside him, smiling warmly. A little boy ran toward him. A little girl followed, holding his hand. They laughed together. Michael lifted the little girl into his arms and kissed her head. The boy hugged his leg. The woman looked at him with love. She was his wife. They were his children. For a moment, I couldn't move. They looked like a perfect family. Michael looked different there. Not like my boss, but like a husband, like a father. He looked happy. He didn't see me, and I was grateful. I quietly turned my face away. Tears slowly filled my eyes. This is real. I told myself. He belongs to them, not to me. After they left, I stayed on that bench for a long time. I felt empty. Small, invisible. Again, I asked myself, why did I fall in love with him? But once again, there was no answer. That night, I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I lay in bed and whispered into the darkness, "Forget him, Sophia. Please forget him." But my heart refused. Monday morning came. I didn't want to go to work. But life doesn't stop for broken hearts. So I went. I stayed quiet. I avoided conversations. Then Michael walked over. "Sophia, are you okay? You look sad." "I'm just tired," I said. He sat beside me and said gently, "You are a good person. You help others. You are quiet, but strong." Then he said something I will never forget. "You are special." Special. No one had ever called me that before. I smiled, but inside, my emotions were shaking. For a moment, I wanted to tell him everything. "I love you." But I stayed silent. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. "He thinks I'm special," I whispered. Then I cried. I cried because I felt happy. I cried because I felt sad. And I cried because I knew he would never be mine. One evening, the office was almost empty. Only a few lights were on. Michael and I were working late. The room was quiet. He looked at me and said softly, "Sophia, you are important to me." My heart started racing. Then he said, "I am married, but I like you. You make me feel alive." My eyes filled with tears. I felt hope. I felt fear. I felt pain. For a moment, I wondered if he would leave his family, but deep inside, I knew that wasn't right. Finally, I spoke. "Michael, I like you too, but you have a family. I don't want to be the reason for anyone's pain." He nodded slowly. "I understand." Silence filled the room. It was a beautiful moment, but also a painful one. After that night, everything changed. We continued working together, but we never spoke about our feelings again. A quiet distance grew between us. During that time, I thought a lot about love and pain. Loving a married man is not a fairy tale. It is full of silence, sadness, and secrets. One evening, I made a decision. "Sophia," I told myself, "you must be strong. You must love yourself first." I stopped hoping he would leave his family. I stopped waiting for something impossible. Instead, I started building my own life. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I still thought about him. Sometimes my heart still hurt. But slowly, I began to understand something important. Love is not always about holding someone close. Sometimes, love means letting go. Sometimes, love means choosing yourself. Little by little, I started smiling again. I started dreaming again. I started loving myself. Michael will always remain a small part of my heart. But now, I am free, and I am ready for a new beginning. If this story touched your heart, and if you have ever loved someone in silence, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories.